What's going on, everybody? Toby1 Shinobi here, and today I'm doing an Inside the Mind in a Ranked Zero Build solos game at the Elite rank, I believe. Now, this game right here is really going to demonstrate how to win games using good decision making, good rotations, and using good restraint. And you'll definitely understand what I mean by restraint in just a bit. Now, if you follow the strategies that I'm showing you here in this video, you should definitely be making it to end game much more consistently with much better loot, and you should be ranking up a lot faster. So let's get into it. All right, so here we are. We're picking out our drop, and we're dropping in at Sandy Steps. Now, I have been liking Sandy Steps a lot since the newest update because it feels like they've reduced Nitro Fist spawns. It's very hard to find them, it feels like, and you basically got to have, you know, some sort of mobility. In the early game, it really helps until you find Nitro Fist later. So I've been dropping here and buying the shockwaves. It also has some gun cases on the bottom floor of this first building, so you're pretty much always guaranteed at least 2 rare guns, and that's really helpful. So oftentimes I can get a very solid loadout right from this very first building, and then from there on I can kind of just rotate how I please. Now, the whole idea behind this particular game right here is I was kind of getting beat up and ranked, and I was playing very aggressive, you know, just kind of taking every fight. And I said to myself, and I said to stream, basically like, all right, we're going to survive till mid and end game. Like, that's just the goal here. So what we're doing is we're playing for end game. This is a little more passive than my typical gameplay, but it's much more strategic than typical. So what you'll see is me riding edges. You'll see me clearing my back a lot. You'll see me making smart rotations, and you'll also see me practicing a lot of restraint, which is what I talked about earlier, meaning I'm not getting involved in fights that I know I have a very high chance of dying in. All right, so what you're seeing here is basically me just looting up, and you see me pick up a green enforcer here and then go back and pick up the tactical AR. Gold tack with a scope is actually pretty solid. It's a pretty solid AR. It's not good by any means. It's not the best. There's a lot of good ARs in the loot pool right now. Enforcer is definitely better if it has a scope, but you know, a gold scoped tac AR is still pretty decent. So we're going to go ahead and carry that. And right now I'm just getting up on the height and I'm looking around. So I've got actually a very good loadout right from the rip, which is awesome. Now I want to get on the roof and I want to clear my surrounding. Basically I want to figure out where people are in my POI. If there's anyone in my POI, I want to basically push them right away because I have very good loot. And if there's not, then I just kind of want to figure out what's going on in my surroundings to make sure that I don't get snuck up on, because it's very common in ranked for people to be ratting around. I'm just kind of shooting some stuff, looking around, and you're going to hear me talking over myself. I apologize for that. This is during a live stream, and I had my recording going, or my mic on. Unfortunately, I was recording my mic, so you will hear me talking over myself. I hope that's not too annoying. So we're going to just go ahead and keep looting here. I'm going to burn a shockwave to get on top of this height right here, this roof, because I don't want to set off the zip line. If I take the zip line, then people are going to know where I'm at. Zip lines can be seen from 120 meters away, which is very far. So that's why I'm burning a shock. Also, I know that she sells shocks, so I'm going to go back there and I'm just going to buy a shock anyways to fill up because I have a ton of gold. And I'm just looking for this player. And there we go. We get hit from the right. So apparently that player came around on us. It's over here in this car, and now we're just gonna watch him. Take a couple shots. We're looking for some shields, and look at that, EMPs. So EMPs right now in this meta are very, very strong. I'm typically not a player who likes to play with EMPs. I just kind of feel like it's a little bit dirty, but you know, they're very effective, and I would encourage you carrying them. You know, get rid of like an AR, just run or get rid of a third weapon, carry a 2-gun loadout with EMPs, some sort of mobility, and then heals. Something like that is very good. So what I'm seeing here is these 2 players start fighting. Now watch how I'm waiting, right? I see this player shooting at the other player. I've got my EMPs ready, and I'm not just jumping in there because I see this player coming in, I see the glider, and I'm timing this. Cool. So you see I let them fight a little bit because I want to third party them. I want people to be hurt, basically. So go ahead and EMP this car, shut it down. Now we're looking for the other player. They drove off. They're already out, so now we're just going to go ahead and start fighting this player. And this is why I think EMPs are dirty. This guy just has no chance, right? Like, if he doesn't have mobility, which clearly he doesn't know what to do. He's pretty much dead. Like, no matter where he goes right there, he dies without mobility.
Nice when you're the one doing it.
You hear me say it's nice when you're the one doing it to people, because yeah, it's annoying to get EMP'd when you're driving these cars. The car meta is kind of like, you know, it's a very risky thing to be driving cars around right now, because if you get EMP, that's an instant 75 damage, followed by another EMP that's 150 damage on you, just like that, just for throwing an EMP at your car twice. Very easy to do, and it will rip off 150 shields, and now you're down to 100 health in zero builds. So I'm not driving cars around too much right now because of that. It's just sketchy. I will drive them around to rotate, but I won't do it when I know that enemies are nearby, or I'll try to stay away from them, basically, and try to kind of play on foot for a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and use these overshields, or these bubble shields right here, just to protect us while we kind of look through the loot. We throw one on our car, and then we just get moving, have a little bit of protection on our car in case somebody shoots us. Doesn't hurt to just burn them, because I'm not going to carry bubble shields unless it's like end game. Right now, I've got a pretty solid 3-gun loadout. Okay, so someone was up on this hill. We're gonna go ahead and hit a shock, and they've got nitro fists. Now we have to make a decision right now if we're gonna chase them or not. We have 2 shockwaves left in our inventory. It's just kind of a stupid move, to be honest, because if they've got nitro fists, you just know that they're just gonna run forever. So I'm going to use my last shockwave here to chase this guy, to try to catch him out in the open, and he gets to a car, and he's pretty much gone forever. So that is one of the struggles with this season, especially in ranked, is that there's so many cars around, there's so much mobility with the Ride the Lightning guitars, the nitro fists, you know, infinite mobility basically. People can spam the guitar, the mythic guitar, land, and then use 4 fists, and by the time they use their 4th charge on the fist, they usually have the guitar back again, and they can just guitar away again and then get to a car and just keep running. So EMPs are probably something I would recommend, even though I don't like the playstyle. It's good for at least shutting people down out of their cars and not allowing them to get too much space, so that you can keep right on their tail. So yeah, we're going back here, we're just looting, and we can go ahead and skip ahead. We're basically going to go back to the vendor, buy a couple more shocks, and then get moving again. Now, the whole idea behind this gameplay right now is generally I drop more center map and I get really active, but again, we're going for a win right here. We're going for end game, which if you want to rank up, that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be going for really high kill games unless you've got crazy skills to back it up. But this season especially just feels very random with the amount of rotational ability for players to make with cars, with mythic lightning guitars, with nitro fists. People can get it on you really quick, and you can be like totally safe and okay, and then all of a sudden you have like 3 or 4 players on you, and it's just like you're just dead, right? So I'm playing this game in a much more strategic way, and I'm riding the outside of zone, or I'm riding the outskirts of the map. And basically I'm going to clear my whole quadrant of this map. So I'm going to basically jump on, I'm going to go up onto this hill. If I'm going to guess, so I'm going to scout, right? So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to clear my back. So as the storm comes in here, I want to look around this area, and I just want to see if there's any players around. So I have an idea if there's people behind me as I rotate in. If you know where everyone's at, it's very easy to win games, right? It's very rare to know where everyone's at. So you just got to do your best to figure out where people are, see if you can catch people run out in the open, see if you can see what their rotations look like, that sort of thing. The less people behind you, the better. If you have no one behind you and all of your enemies in front of you, that is very, very good. It's very unlikely you get third-partied that way if you can keep everyone in front of you. You can take much safer fights. So we're going to go ahead and jump back in our car here and just start driving in towards Pleasant. Okay, so someone takes a shot, and immediately I'm going to start driving because in my mind, I'm thinking they have EMPs. I'm just trying to stay away from people at this point. This is a very ambitious boost. If I had Nitro, I might be able to pull that off, but no, not the move. And now we're right under them. If they had EMPs right now, this would be no bueno. But they don't, so that's good. We got lucky. So bad move right there. Should have just got distance and went up this little ramp right here. I just went for the fun little crazy jump right here. Okay, so this player's going to immediately hit the guitar. Typical, just running from every single fight, which is very common in ranked. And that person's going to leave immediately as well. So no surprises here. Pretty much no one wants to fight unless they've got a massive advantage or a third party. And it's a little frustrating, gonna be honest. So that's probably another reason why I should be carrying EMPs. All right, so you can see that I landed out here ahead of this car. I'm trying to cut this car off, and I'm trying to get onto high ground. So this is ideal right here. And now we can play this tree for cover, and we're just gonna try to spray his window as he comes up because he's getting into the turret. And if we can land some damage before he gets into that turret, boom, you know, this is a fairly easy kill. Very hurt. And now all we have to do is blow up this car. And again, if we had EMPs, this would be a much different story. But what do you know, they get away. No, he escaped! And you can hear my frustration. All right, so yeah, that's just Fortnite ranked for you right now. Fortnite in general, but ranked especially. People want to survive, and there's a lot of ways to survive right now, which, you know, is kind of fun. It makes for some more interesting end games with a lot of players, but at the same time, mid and early game, it's more about just like looting up and getting all your gear and not really hunting down kills as much, because I feel like it's very hard to get kills and you'll put yourself in a lot of danger if you're trying to get aggressive early and mid game, because everyone's got this rotational ability and can get out of fights, and then you just get yourself in a very bad spot trying to finish off a kill. Okay, so right here, this guy's guitaring in, chasing for a car. And this is what I'm talking about, right? He's chasing this car down using his utility, and now he has no mobility left. Finds himself in a bad spot, and it's just an easy kill, right? So he tries to EMP me, but I landed too good of damage with a Flowberry Shockwave. If you don't know about the Flowberry Shockwave, basically just hit a little bit of Flowberry right before you Shockwave, and it sends you miles high. Now, Shockwaves, I would say, are better than Nitro Fists. Like, per use, the Shockwave is a better utility because you can do this sort of thing where you can get into the air really high, you can shoot people out of the air, and you know, I've already landed like 100 plus damage on this player before I touch the ground, before he can even fight back. So, but they run out. So pretty much I'm always picking up Nitro Fists unless it's like end game and, you know, it's like 3 players left and I have 6 shocks. Sure, I'll keep the shocks, but in most cases, Nitro Fists are just better because they're infinite. All right, so now there's a player over here coming in, and I don't know why they didn't jump on my head earlier. So you can hear them shooting at me, and that's why I kind of get crazy, and I start shockwaving again. And, you know, I've got this kind of a mentality now that says just burn your utility to survive. I've gotten better at this. A lot of times I try to save my utility, or in the past I saved my utility, and I try to, like, you know, not waste my shockwaves, not waste things, but, you know, just use it. Live to fight another day. That's the most important thing. There is more utility. You'll be able to find some more. So I hit myself up to 96 HP right here because I know I'm going to fizz one more time before this player pushes me so that I can have an advantage with my movement, get up high in the air and try to headshot them. And I'm kind of checking my cliff, checking my back behind me. Now, I'm right on the edge of storm. Again, this is the idea is to play edge. We're just going to be slowly getting pushed in inch by inch, or, you know, zone by zone, just riding the wave of zone, just riding it out. And that's the whole idea here. And so I'm checking my back right now because this cliff is definitely my major weakness, the biggest danger area for me, right? So you got to look for dangerous areas first. You got to scan your environment and just make sure that you're not going to get beamed in the back before you take a fight. So I'm looking up there again. Okay, so it's clear for a second. So we don't want this fight to go too long either. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that next fizz, and then we're going to start shooting out this tree. Yep, I remember this. I thought that I'd catch them behind the tree by shooting up above it, but they just vanished, so. Okay, someone's on the roof running towards me. Oh, actually running to a car. They just found a guitar. Okay, so now I realize that they're probably baiting me. See, I'm getting way too far out from my cover here. Way too far out on the road, so we got to get back behind cover. And look at that, we're getting snuck up on by another player. All right. Hit some nice movement, and then we go right back to looking at this player. And the first thing we want to do is keep them off of us. Anytime you finish a fight, you're not worried about looting. You're more worried about what's around you, right? Because I know that there's another player in the vicinity. the first thing I'm doing is getting eyes on that player because I know they're over there, right? What they want to do is third party for sure. Like everyone wants a third party. So don't let them do it. Apply pressure early so that you let them know, hey, I'm watching you and hey, I'm ready to fight, right? So like this gives them the feeling like, hey, whoa, okay, this guy's ready to fight already. That's crazy. You know, maybe this guy's a really good player or he's just not that hurt. Either way, I'm thinking about not pushing him immediately. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and grab some loot. And again, we're just keeping eyes on this player while we heal. Keeping him in our sight so we see him going back towards the car. And we're going to go ahead and shock. See if we can land some damage from the air. Get in this tree. And they're going to go ahead and leave. No surprise. No one wants to fight in ranked these days. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Checking my back. We're going to start moving in because we've got the storm moving in right now, and we're just gonna slowly rotate in. We're not gonna go too deep. We're gonna start playing edge here. Again, going left, cutting left, and trying to keep all the players in the center of the map to our right, storm to our left. Try not to have anyone behind us. So check our left here. Park our car right by our loot so that we can just get right back in it if someone pushes us. We got a medallion over here to our right, or in front of us. So I'm kind of looking at that right now. Notice I parked my car right here, and I also have a tree to my left, so I'm kind of blocking my angle from the hill to my left as well. I didn't just park my car out in the open. There is some thought to that as well. Okay, we're checking this hill right here, looking at this hill. I'm not seeing anyone up there right now. See someone riding the lightning over here. Getting in that car. And we're going to go ahead and try to hijack this player, I believe. Yeah, so this is going to be the pickaxe glitch. You boost ahead of them, you get out of the car, you pull out your pickaxe, and you start swinging. And you'll be able to do damage while they're in the car. This guy has EMPs out. He almost thought about throwing it, but he knows that he's going to shut down his own car, and that's going to really screw him over. So now he's headed out. He's got a mythic guitar, but yeah, again, pickaxe glitch is very, very important to learn this season. If you don't know how to do it, all you got to do is pull out your pickaxe. Well, I say all you got to do. It's very hard in general. It's generally harder to do. Easier said than done. But you pull out your pickaxe, you start holding down your fire button, your swing button, and then you enter the car and you continue to hold it down as you look towards the player. Never let go of it until they exit the car. And then we're going to get back on and we do it again. See, we pull that pickaxe out and we start doing it again. This guy just has no options at this point other than just to run away with lightning.
Wow.
And we're just going to follow him out. And the thing about these lightning guitars that are kind of nice is that you can see the trail, the little contrail of where they went. So when you do this, make sure you're paying attention to this lightning. You can see his lightning trail right here. So that is a good way. I mean, these guitars are really good for getting out of bad situations, but at the same time, it's very easy to be found if the person's paying attention and they get right into the rift right after you. So I kind of knew where this guy was going. Just gonna get in this building. Now I'm shooting right here, and a lot of people would say that damage doesn't matter. That's silly. Why'd you do that? Well, if this player's overshield was just coming back, this denies their overshield from restarting. So a lot of times you'll see like good players, higher skilled players, just take like a random shotgun shot from super far away. They know it's not going to kill, but they know that it's going to keep the overshield from recharging. Something in Zero Build that makes a very large difference. You know, if you can keep that 50 health from regenerating, especially with this player so hurt, it makes the fight even easier. Okay, so we're going to do this safely. We check our right as soon as we go through the window. We know they're in here somewhere. We're just checking our corners carefully. And we found them in the bathroom. Cool. Easy kill. So we used all of our utility. Now you'll notice with this shockwave right here, what I did is I was trying to break him out to the bottom floor. I was trying to get him out of his little rat's nest because he's hiding somewhere in here, and I don't want to go around the corner and have him, you know, put a gatekeeper in my face and pull the trigger twice to find out that he wins this fight. That can happen. So we're just trying to break the floor, trying to expose him, get on the roof and look for him. Do this safely, right? So That's always a move. If you got shockwaves, use them to break open their cover. Now he's got a gold pistol and Metallica guitar. Or, I mean the red lightning guitar. He's also got EMPs. Probably should have picked up those EMPs and just ditched the AR. A lot of people would go with the gold pistol, which is definitely a good weapon as well. But the gold pistol, or pistol in general, I don't think it's very good in the air. It doesn't have the burst. You know, the 3 bullets from the burst is just really, really good because it's good for hitting people while you're moving quickly. That is what the burst really offers, other than like pretty much every other weapon, is that those 3 bullets give you a chance to land one bullet, 2 bullets, 3 bullets. Whereas, you know, with a pistol, you just have 1 shot from the air, and it doesn't have as perfect of accuracy either as the burst. So that's usually why I still carry the burst. A lot of times I will do like a enforcer or a combat AR. Combat AR, now that there is rare versions or, you know, non-mythic versions, is very good as well. So I'll probably be running just a combat AR and either a gatekeeper shotgun or a combat shotty. Okay, so we see 3 people come in here, and I'm kind of waiting again. I'm just waiting, timing, see how these players just start to fight. Okay, now we're going to get involved when it's a nice, easy cleanup. Okay, we're going to jump in here, catch this player, see what we hit the nitro. Now, nitro I'm pretty much always carrying as well, unless I've got the nitro medallion. So you saw me drop, like, there's a lot of good options for loot off that last player, but, you know, surprisingly, we pick up nitro. A lot of people are like, why are you picking up nitro, bro? Nitro is really good. It's just a really good movement enhancer. It makes your fights super easy. This guy, I would not be able to do this unless I was on nitro. One, I'm just jumping off a cliff to what should cause fall damage, jumping over an entire river, and then I jump and slide in, and he's not seeing my footsteps until it's too late. Boom. 120 damage because we got the mythic gatekeeper, and he's going to leave immediately. And we're going to follow that trail. Now, a pretty smart player goes for the nearest mobility option, but we're going to stay on his tail. So in these fights, you got to stay right on their butt. Otherwise, if you give them just 1 or 2 seconds, they will disappear, and it's just really hard to find them. So we're staying on them, keeping that pressure on, hitting our shots. And now we just got to finish up with that burst, catch him right before his next guitar goes off, take him down. All right, so now we're on Edge of Storm again. So we're riding this edge, right? We know there's no one behind us, so this is great. This is what can win you ranked games just a lot more consistently. Now, it's fun to get really involved and like get in the middle of the map and just get in a lot of fights, but if you really want to win games consistently, you should be riding the edge and keeping everyone in front of you if you can. All right, so I just swapped out that burst for the other because this burst right here did not have muzzle brake. So muzzle brake is very good on the burst. So see, this just has a drum and laser. Muzzle brake really helps with the recoil, so I decided to go with the one that the muzzle brake instead of the drum mag. All right, we're gonna hit nitro just to stay ahead of the storm, and then we're gonna go back to this loop because what I'm looking for is some nitro fists, some shockwaves. I'm looking for some sort of mobility because we're getting towards endgame here, and we really got to have some mobility on us. Okay, so there's nothing, so we're going to go ahead and pick up the purple enforcer so we have a little more range, a little more flexibility on our loadout, because right now our Thunderburst has no scope, which makes things hard at longer ranges. We're checking our surroundings, and we're just letting that storm, you know, stay at our back. Kind of pushing up, looking around, making sure that we're not going to get beamed as we go up this hill. Now, with your rotations, if you're ever on low ground, you got to be super careful about high ground, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit some Flowberry Fizz, and I'm going to start running, and notice that I run towards pieces of cover, looking behind me, okay. Oh, that's looking sketchy, so immediately I'm thinking, check both sides here, okay. And then we go for this car because it's the safest piece of cover. Now we're looking at storm here. We're going to have to go across the map again. Keep headed out. See someone coming off of island right here. And there's a medallion in front of us. So I'm looking at mini-map as well. This player looks like a an easy kill possibly, so we're going to go ahead and break the bush. They're going to take off, and boom, yes, we find some nitro fists. Wonderful. See footsteps. We're going to go ahead and get some distance because we know EMPs are a thing. Just instantly boost. As soon as you see footsteps near you when you're in a car, just boost out, get some space because they are probably going to EMP you and you will probably die. EMPs, no joke, are so easy because what happens is they hit your car once or twice. Now you got to exit out, and you're always going to exit out on the driver's side unless you swap to your passenger, then exit, which is a pretty good move. Most people don't. They exit driver's side, and then they get beamed for another 100 damage instantly. And by then, they've already lost about 175 health and just a few more shots while they're trying to run away, and it's over. All right, so we are using our burst on this player when we should be using a scoped AR. I have an AR. I just said to myself, oh man, I have an AR. So we're going to go ahead and use this tactical enforcer. this enforcer. I really like this scope on the enforcer. I like the red dot in this scope, so this is kind of my ideal weapon right here. And as you can see, we're putting it to work. Does very good damage, has very little recoil. And this player is just, I don't know what they were doing, to be honest. I don't know why they didn't, I guess they were out of fist usage, but this player all around was just being way too lax with what they were trying to do here. Like, in ranked, you can't get away with this stuff. People have very good aim, and she thought that because she was moving quickly and using fizz that she wasn't going to die, or they weren't going to die. But either way, easy kill right there. Appreciate it. We did not loot them. Notice that as soon as we killed them, we hear a car coming in. They have good loot, yes, but we are not going to loot. We are going straight to some cover, trying to get away from these cars that can hit us with grenade launchers or just catch us out in the open. And then we're going to kind of reload our weapons, take a look at things from a safe location. And again, we still have no one on our backs, right? So we're trying to keep everyone in front of us, try to figure out where people are, looking around, make sure no one took our hill behind us, check the coast, see if the coast is clear here. Okay, now we can go out and loot, right? We're going to check one more time. I'm very sketched out about taking this because of the gunshots that we just exchanged there. I'm just going to go ahead and grab that purple burst and head out. Now, instantly I see this little nitro ring right here, and I'm seeing these medallions, right? So I'm using a lot of my fists to get across here, and fists are my only movement right now. We're going into a very large open zone, so I'm thinking immediately I need some rotation, some sort of rotation here. So I'm used two fists, and now I need to chill out and get to cover and wait for my charges to come back because I know there's a medallion very, very close to me and then another medallion ahead. So I'm just going to go ahead and sit here. Now I can use this for rotation. If need be, if I get pushed, I can use it for rotation, and I'm going to do that just to get the nitro on me as well. Okay, now we're going to try to hijack this car because that is our rotation. It'd be a lot better if we don't waste our fists. It'd be much better to drive out right here. Even if the car is sacrificial, just get us far enough that we can use our fists because this is a very far storm pole. This next zone is pretty far, so I'm just going to head out. This guy jumped out. He's trying to blow me up. I'm going to go ahead and sit up here because he'd probably think I'd drive out. I want to fight him. Okay, I'm going to hit some fizz, and then I'm going to use my fist to get up there into the air very high, put some damage on him, chase him out. Okay, we're getting shot at by somebody else. We got to be careful. And now we've got a couple players in a fight right here.
Chase is on.
Checking my surroundings. I'm not getting too involved in that fight. That's just like no point in pushing down there because there's too many enemies around. That guy gets popped. Now 2 medallions are down over there. And I'm thinking about it, considering it. And this is where we talk about restraint. This is a very beautiful pile of loot. It's got 2 medallions, all gold weapons. And there's a guy in that bush. There's a guy right here. And look at where zone is. Zone is pretty far away, and we've only got... And it's already moving, right? So we just got to go. So at this point, I decided, okay, it's not worth it. Although those medallions right there are very helpful for winning the game, because that is 2 of the best medallions. I think that's the healing medallion and the nitro medallion. Either way, the healing medallion is really good. So, but we leave it because the smarter move is to just get ahead, kill them later and take it from them. But get ahead, try to beat out the other players and rotate early. Now I'm feeling like there might be rats here. Looking around. checking roof lines, trying to get into this building as quick as possible, checking it, and we didn't check our left. So that was a mistake right there. I had a feeling that there was a rat in here, and they're hiding behind this box, apparently. So this is just ranked for you. Can never trust any structure whatsoever. It's one thing that I'm trying to learn and like beat into my thick skull is that you don't want to enter structures. If you don't have to enter structures in ranked or like play around structures, unless you know 100% that they're safe. But if you come upon a structure mid-game, end-game, you should not trust at all that there's not somebody in there. You should think that there's a rat hiding, and that's what happens. We let our guard down for a little bit, and we get destroyed. Take 100 damage, and now we're just moving. I realized that I just jumped off this mountain, so now I gotta use another fist so I don't take fall damage. Because I think I would have just taken fall damage from slide jumping right there. That would have been the end of the game for me. So we go down here, and that was in my mind. I've talked about this before in my other videos, is like having a plan in mind. I had a plan in mind right here. I know zone is down here. I mean, zone is basically towards the water. Like, the water is in zone. And so I had this plan in mind. If something goes crazy, I'm just going straight down to the ocean and trying to find a nice quiet spot down there to regroup. Ideally, I don't want to be down here because it's low ground, and that's a lot of ground to cover with fists. But I'm fairly confident no one's down here because I got to zone pretty early. Okay, cool. And so that gives us a spot to heal. And again, this is really helpful. Why it's so good to rotate early and not get caught up in trying to loot and, you know, get eliminations at these end games. Because if I were to rotate late, right, even if I go get those medallions and I pull it off, other people are now going to be in these spots, and I don't have as many options to get out of trouble. So early rotations are very good. Now, you'll notice right there, I healed up to 65 shields. I have 5 fizz, but I always keep 5 fizz left. Even if I could use it to get more shields, I keep it because it is a movement enhancer. It can help me win fights. It can help me rotate better. So I just always keep a little bit of fizz left in the bottle if I can't trade it out. So we see a fight up here, and I'm thinking I need to refresh. So I'm going to try to catch this player off guard. Third party him. Boom, we get some massive damage. He goes above me, and there's a car pulling in. So now you got to watch my back, and he's going to guitar out, as one does in ranked. And we're going to go ahead and use that for rotation. This is very good for us because look where zone is pulled. Zone is pulled all the way up the mountain, and with just 1 fist charge, or even 4 fist charge, this is a death sentence. Trying to rotate here. Look at this player in this tree right here. That's why it's a death sentence, right? Like, you gotta have some better rotation than fists if you're down here, and this is my only option, so that's why I play on it. I don't even need to kill this guy. I just need to get out of here. So this player is right there. That guy would easily be me as I go up this. I would be dead if I did not take this. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and play towards the bottom of this mountain. Now, the idea here is to basically just try to find some cover. And we have this cliff that we can get up if we want to fist up. But for right now, we just want to figure out where people are. We see an EMP go off over here. We hear gunshots. We see a car coming at us, trying to splatter us. We're going to steal that. That's beautiful. Go ahead and jump out. Yep. Put some damage on this player. And once again, they get away. But the smart thing to do right now is show some restraint, have some restraint. Do not chase this player because that's a death sentence. There's too many unknowns right now. There's still 10 players in this zone, and we got to just find some safety for a second, figure out where everyone's at before we do anything. So he gets down there. Now we're taking shots from above. This guy is now the #1 priority. That guy up on the hill is, you know, the king, and we want to take the king down because that is the best spot in zone. So we got to be looking at that. And we want high ground on this end zone. We don't want to be down here because cars with explosives can start shooting us, or like, you know, boom bows. It's just all kinds of bad. Never want to be at the bottom of a mountain. I was looking at using those barrels. This guy just hit him, and he's leaving. What I'm going to do here is start a little fight up here. I'm going to get that guy nice and hurt. That's like the 3rd person in a row now that I've gotten to one shot. Didn't get to finish him because I've got higher priorities, and that is survival. So we let that guy go, but that's good for us because that's going to start a fight up on top of the hill, and now we don't have to worry so much about that player on top of the hill. So ideally rotate. Oh, we just saw a bunker, and that is beautiful. That's exactly what we need is bunkers. This is exactly what we need. So now we've got bunkers. We can get up this hill with our 4 dashes. We just used that fizz, which is definitely helpful for this, right? If I didn't use that fizz and I didn't save that fizz, I don't know if I'd be able to get up here as easily. And I don't know if I'd be able to get across this safely, right? I mean, I guess I did, but better safe than sorry. The fizz is definitely helpful for rotating, gets you further with less charges. Now we're going to go ahead and bunker up on the back side of the zone. Again, keeping everyone in front of us. Now we know there's no one behind us. And now we just keep eyes on our enemies. We're going to go ahead and start bullying the king over here because that's a very good spot that I'm sure a lot of people want to be in. And if I can get some drama started, get that player hurt, and at least like tear down his defenses, then force him to move or like keep everyone's focus on this guy because his bunkers are going down, that is ideal, right? Keep the eyes off me. Cool. We shredded his walls. Now we got to check our backs because we're making a lot of noise. We want to make sure no one's sneaking up on us. Okay, they're not. And now I'm looking at zone again. We've got a far ways to go. So I'm talking to myself right now, talking about next zone. Again, it's a max pull, so we just keep kind of getting unlucky about that, but that's all right. We're going to go ahead and bust the wheel off that car just so no one drives it. And we're just kind of thinking about how we're going to rotate, making sure no one lands on us. I'd like to walk in. This is, again, keep the storm at our back, keep everyone in front of us, and walk in. I call it walk in or jog in. And that just means, like, in endgame, make sure that everyone's in front of you by just keeping the storm to your back and just casually walk in so that you don't have to stress out about, like, who's where, right? You know everyone's in front of you. Go ahead and start pelting this player. Finish him off. That's great. Finally got a kill. And now we're just jogging in. So I'm going to play this high ground right here. Just take a look around. Now this is a gold enforcer, which a lot of people would take, but I actually like the 1.3 scope better, so I'm just not going to take it. I've already got a purple. It's very solid. And we're just looking for players, right? 5 other enemies in the zone, 6 total. Just looking for players. Want to make sure that we're clear before we take any, make any rash decisions to shoot at people. If this player's pushing me, I'm going to fight him, but other than that, okay, so I get in the car, I get out, and I switch to drivers. And I see a lot of loot down here, and I'm looking for a refresh, looking for some health. I don't see much health, but I see a player landing right here, and that's an easy kill, right? So we just go for it. And they drop 2 medallions, but I don't think we're going to be able to get them. Immediately, we got to jump out of this car, pull out our nitro fists, and go. I'm laughing to myself about what just happened, and that storm is now like a, probably an 8 tick at this point, so I can't go in it to get those medallions. It's too bad. Yeah, it's an 8 tick. It just got me. And now we see the high ground right there. Like, we're trying to play slow. I was trying to play bus. I didn't really quite look at storm enough, but I was looking at high ground. And this is a big, big red flag for me. This is real bad news because I got no cover here. I got 1 bunker, but I do not want to waste it right now. So I'd much rather not use this bunker because I'm probably going to need it. So we're going up. And we're just going to put pressure on this guy. Now, I also know that, like, in this zone, there's been so much fighting, so much chaos, and I'm not seeing very many heals on the ground. So I'm thinking there's probably a lot of hurt players. So at this point, like, I'm kind of all in. This guy probably didn't really expect me to push him here. And so we have a mythic gatekeeper, we're just going to go in. And now another player's coming up. We immediately get down because we're pretty hurt. And now we're going to play slow and just listen. Okay, again, we're just going to go for it. Boom. Land some nice shots right there. Didn't expect it. A lot of times if you can get a jump, especially with a gatekeeper, a mythic gatekeeper especially, if you can get within close range of someone without them expecting it, it's just like it's a massive advantage, right? This guy knows he's in trouble and he's hurt as well. So, boom. Now we got the healing medallion, and there is 1 player left. Now, this is a pretty risky move for me to push up here, but I knew it was going to be a quick fight. So, like, it was kind of make or break here. I did not have much health. I really needed a refresh, and I know that this guy has a medallion, or at least one of these guys does. And yeah, I just didn't really want to wait for something to happen, wait for someone to find me. I just wanted to make the play. So we go for it. We hit our shots. We grab the medallion, and now we immediately get out because we know we're going to get pushed, third-partied. So we go for the car down here. We're going to pull it around, or we're going to pull the driver's side away from the enemy so that they can't hit us as we get out. And then we're going to try to bait them out right now, but our car doesn't have very much health, so it's not going to work. What I was trying to do is bait them to shoot me, and then I was going to shoot them while they're shooting my car, but the car's too hurt, so we just got to go. Okay, so I tried to go for a sky shot on this guy, ran out of fists, and now I'm playing slow. I've got the medallion, though, so I can just play slow here. All I'm doing is give myself exits here, so if he drops, I can get out this way, you know? Okay, he's going to stay on roof. Now, I've got this bunker. I've got bunkers, and I'm just going to go to zone, get to next zone, throw down that bunker immediately, and then play it. Play the right shoulder peek. He's in real bad trouble. Now, I'm not going to jump out here. I'm going to play another right shoulder off this. That's his left shoulder right there. That is not good for him. And that's why it helps to learn bunker fights, because that stuff can win you these situations, right? If I get out here, I'm probably losing this fight. But if you play tight to this wall, this right shoulder right here, he's in a very bad spot. I don't think this guy knows how to bunker fight very well. So that's an inside my mind. I hope it was helpful, some part of it. I know a lot of people find these helpful in some ways. Everyone kind of takes different things from them, so hopefully there was some tips that you picked up on there. But the main thing is, if you want to win games consistently, you want to keep your enemies in front of you, because there's a lot of chaos this season, a lot of randomness, right? A lot of stuff can happen. People can show up, jump on your head really quick. So you got to kind of take isolated fights near the outside of zone is ideal. If you're going to be inside the middle, you really want to have medallions for healing. You want to have those cactuses that you can hit. You want to know the locations of those so you can get heals quickly. You want to have good rotation. You want to have good nitro fists. You want to have nitro fist medallion or nitro splashes is ideal. Otherwise, if you don't have that stuff, you really can't get involved too heavily. I mean, you can, but it's a lot more risky, right? So if you want to go for wins, keep the storm at your back, keep your enemies in front of you, rotate smart, and show good restraint, right? There was 3 or 4 times where I got somebody absolute, literally 1 bullet left to kill them, and I did not chase them, which is very unlike me, but I really wanted to win the game. And if you want to win games, you gotta not hunt those players down, because you are going to get yourself in a lot of trouble doing it. There was 3 superhero skins that I got all of them one shot at the end here, and they all got away, but that's okay. In the end, I won and they died, so that's all that really matters. Placement is more important than kills. Kills are nice, but don't get yourself killed, because it's more important to get placement. All right, guys, that is going to do it. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like on the video. Really helps me. Consider using code Toby1Shinobi in your Fortnite item shop, and you have yourself a great morning, afternoon, or evening. Shinobi out.